Hey guys, this is DevGuru66 here. So today we're going to be talking about things that we are going to need for the next Ghost Recon game. So the first thing that we're probably going to need is definitely a mission briefing. Now if you ever played Ghost Recon Wildlands or seen my videos before, you would see that Karen Bowman does a mission brief and has pictures as well as different types of things for your mission. And I think that actually does bring about a Ghost Recon game. As you even played in Future Soldier, you had a mission briefing as well as pictures and even a layout of the land. And so I think them bringing that will definitely help the game in the near future, and it kind of gives you more an idea of, I guess, how an operation should go. Now the second thing they are definitely going to need to add is classes. So we were introduced to classes in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and we had originally, I believe, was Assault, Sharpshooter, Panther, and a few others, and I know there was more that came in future DLCs. And so with them doing that, it will definitely change the way how you play, as well as different types of missions that will come up in any type of Ghost Recon game. And if we had the classes back in Wildlands, definitely we were able to change the outcome of a lot of different missions, such as finding people or even trying to recon things out, maybe go on a full-blown assault. Each class was unique in their own abilities, and I think if they added in the next one, it will definitely change the way how you play or the way how you think for upcoming operations. Now the third one that they definitely need to add to make it a little bit more realistic is having the IR light and IR laser be seen with your night vision goggles. Now if you played Ghost Recon Wildlands and you put on your night vision goggles and you had the laser sight on, you and your buddy would be able to see that laser sight. But unfortunately in Breakpoint they took that away and compensated that for an IR light. So you're both able to see the IR light but not each other's laser. And I think having those two be brought for the next game would definitely make a huge game changer, just because of the fact that having that IR laser sight be seen for both you and your friend, you guys will be able to point out enemies as well as civilians, vehicles you need to destroy, or even vehicles you need to steal. And having the IR light would definitely help for you, especially if you're trying to go inside rooms, go inside buildings, maybe even a factory. But it would definitely make it a little bit more realistic for the next game. Now the fourth thing is going to be very controversial, and that is setting up convoys and defending HVTs or defending outposts. And what I mean by setting up convoys, I'm not talking about fighting enemies and stealing the truck and delivering from point A to point B. I'm talking about, like, let's just say for example in the next game we have different assets or different types of people that are helping us, and we meet this random character and he needs this truck to be delivered to point A to point B as a side mission, and we get attacked constantly, or maybe there's an outpost next to us and it's getting attacked and we need to help them defend from either waves or a certain time I should say. Sorry guys, I can't really talk today, but so it would definitely be a different type of play style, and a lot of people are probably going to argue about it. And because people who are fans of the Ghost Recon franchise would argue that that is not how the Ghost Recon franchise, or let alone the Ghost unit, would actually be playing out operations or missions. And they would be right, but again, we never seen a Ghost Recon game in an open world, and yet that came out to be a success. So again, if we were to throw that in for a pre-trial or pre-test, and if some people actually like it, then again, it was something that most of the Ghost franchise would never have done. But if it works, it works. If not, then oh well. Now the fifth one has to be with the TAC map, and I think the TAC map did get a lot better in Breakpoint. For Wildlands, if you played it, the TAC map or the map itself wasn't really descriptive. I mean, they did color in the roads for orange, and then left it silver for, or I wouldn't say silver, but it's more like a line for like trails. And with Breakpoint, it did give it like a little bit more of a type of realistic feature, such as like adding green for, you know, vegetation, blue for water, and white for snow, and, you know, adding some sand. And I think for the next one, it just needs to be a little bit more descriptive. Now, if you played the Division before, you can tell that it was in like a 3D type map, and so I think them trying to do that for the next Ghost Recon would definitely help us get a layout of like the area that we're about to go in. And I mean like that is like seeing like structures, buildings, because I know for us in Breakpoint, I mean, yeah, it's descriptive enough, but seeing like what it looks like barracks or hangars or even factories, instead of just seeing like, you know, black buildings, you know, it would definitely help us plan out a little bit more differently, so that way you know what to expect. Because again, some of these hangars and Breakpoint are a little bit either longer or shorter, as well as some of the factories. And so with us getting a layout of a 3D version of it would definitely help us find ways to either enter or even sneak around. Now, number 6 is going to be very opinionated and controversial as well, but it is having the Bodarks as our main enemy for the next upcoming game. Now, the reason why is just because of the fact that Nomad even confirmed in one of the DLCs in Sam Fisher is that the Ghosts and Bodarks have been fighting each other for a while now. And I think having us go to either Russia or us going to another area and seeing the Bodarks and we have to constantly fight them, I think that would actually be a good I guess antagonist to fight, because again, we're going to be equally matched. Because if you played it in Ghost Recon Future Soldier, they have the same equipment to us, as having the camouflage optic, and as well as even trying to jam our communications. And again, they're always constantly trying to be ahead of us in terms of gunfights. And again, these guys don't play fair. Even if you play in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, these guys are damn near hard to fight. But again, with just enough training and just enough skills, I guess you can say, we can definitely have a decent amount of gunfights as well as challenges to fight these people. Again, I'm not saying that any other villain or enemy that we face in the upcoming game could be probably far more greater than the Bodarks, but again, it's just, you can't really have a Ghost Recon game without the Bodarks. It's just like a Batman and Joker relationship. You can't have one without the other. Now, if the next Ghost Recon game is going to be an open world, what number 7 is definitely going to need is the environment. Now, what I mean by that is that we need to have the AIs start doing like what they did in Wildlands, and that is pretend to be shopping, walking around, driving around. If they see guns, they're going to get scared and probably run away. Or versus a gunfight where these guys are running away and we're going to have to watch our fire, or some of these guys are going to be ducking then running away. It made it feel more like a realistic environment. And so if we look at Breakpoint, for example, that did not really go out as planned. You don't really see people out and about anywhere really, and you're seeing you know, more enemies than anything. And so even when we go inside buildings and we see scientists, they're like, oh, you guys are not supposed to be here, yada yada yada. They're not really gonna get scared as much as you would see in Wildlands. And even when we start shooting in Breakpoint, all they do is just duck, and then when it's over, they just get up and do what they were originally doing. And so it doesn't really bring a sense of realism into that game. So hopefully for the next one, if we do have an open world, which more likely we will, definitely have the AI interact like how a regular person would. So the last thing that we need is a main character, and I do believe we already have our next main character for the next Ghost Recon, and I believe it is going to be Kozak. And the reason why I say Kozak and nobody else, and I remember one YouTuber yesterday was talking about how they want Joe Ramirez and the Predator Squad to come back. Well, I'm going to argue this one and say that they're not going to bringing them back for two reasons. The first reason is the timelines. The timelines are already set in place. Wildlands was in the year 2019, Ghost Recon Future Soldier was in the year 24, and Breakpoint following the year 25. So that means 1 year has already passed for Joe Ramirez and Predator Squad from their death. So again, we could argue that we can go back in time and fill in the gaps from the year 2019 to 2024 before the Predator Squad and Joe Ramirez's death. But this is where reason number 2 comes into play. We have never seen a Ghost game, or a Ghost Recon game I should say, where we go back in time to talk about a Ghost Squad before they died. So is it possible that they could do that? Yes, but would the developers do it though? I highly doubt it. But again, you know, we haven't heard or even seen the new Ghost Recon game, let alone anybody saying that it's in development. So it's possible that we could see Joe Ramirez return. But again, I'm leaning towards Kozak becoming the next main character, and we're continuing on a year after the events of Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Maybe we're probably going to be following Bodark. Maybe we're going somewhere else. Maybe this one won't be an open world and we're going to be continuing on to like how the Ghost Recon franchise was supposed to be, and us going to different worlds or different countries, I should say. I can't even talk now. But again, we haven't heard anything, so a lot of things are up in the air. But these are the things that I think we need in the next Ghost Recon game. But anyway guys, I'm going to end it right here. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video.